What makes Spider-Man different? On the surface, that's an easy question to answer. He climbs walls, shoots webs, swings through New York City. But none of those things explain why Peter Parker has remained one of the most beloved superheroes for more than 60 years. Because beneath the mask, Spider-Man isn't defined by his powers, he's defined by his guilt. Welcome back to the Character Couch, where we examine the psychology behind some of pop culture's most memorable characters. Today, we're looking at a hero who never seems to stop asking himself one question: what if I had done something differently? One of the remarkable things about Spider-Man is that we've now had several live-action versions of Peter Parker. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland. Each actor brings something unique to the role. Maguire emphasizes Peter's quiet loneliness. Garfield leans into his intelligence and emotional vulnerability. Holland captures Peter's youthful enthusiasm and desire to prove himself. Yet, despite those differences, they all feel unmistakably like Spider-Man. Why? Because they all carry the same emotional burden. Nearly every version of Spider-Man begins with loss. Peter Parker gains incredible abilities, but before he truly becomes Spider-Man, he loses Uncle Ben. What's important isn't simply that Ben dies, it's how he dies. Peter has an opportunity to stop a criminal. Instead, he lets him go. Moments later, that same criminal kills the person Peter loves most. Whether the details change from one adaptation to another doesn't really matter. Psychologically, the result is always the same. Peter doesn't simply lose his uncle. He believes he caused it. That's an enormous burden for anyone to carry. Most superheroes fight evil because they want to make the world a better place. Peter Parker fights because he feels he owes the world something. Every person he saves is, in some small way, an attempt to make up for the one person he couldn't. That's why Spider-Man often feels exhausted. He doesn't believe there's such a thing as doing enough. Because no matter how many people he rescues, he can't change the past. It's an impossible standard, yet he keeps trying anyway. Perhaps no superhero is more closely associated with a single sentence than Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. It's become one of the most famous lines in comic book history, but there's another way to hear that sentence. Not as inspiration, but as obligation. Peter doesn't see his powers as a gift, he sees them as a responsibility that can never be ignored. If someone gets hurt, and he could have prevented it, then in Peter's mind that's partly his fault. It's an incredibly noble way to live, but it's also emotionally exhausting. Peter Parker also faces another psychological challenge. He has to be two different people. To the world, he's an awkward young man trying to balance school, work, relationships, and everyday life. Behind the mask, he's Spider-Man, the protector of New York City. Those two identities are constantly pulling against one another. His friends wonder why he disappears, his employers think he's unreliable, relationships become difficult, promises get broken, not because Peter doesn't care, but because he's trying to protect the people he loves. Ironically, the more responsible he becomes, the more isolated he often feels. Most of us aren't billionaires. We don't come from alien planets. We can't summon lightning. Peter Parker feels different. He's worried about paying rent. He's late for work. He struggles in school. He makes mistakes. He says the wrong thing. He disappoints the people he cares about. He's wonderfully, frustratingly human. Spider-Man reminds us that being a hero isn't about being perfect. It's about continuing to do the right thing, even after you've failed. I think that's why Spider-Man has endured for generation after generation. Yes, he has incredible powers, but his greatest battles aren't fought against the Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, or Venom. They're fought inside his own mind. Peter Parker constantly wonders whether he's done enough. whether he could have saved one more person, whether he'll truly ever make peace with his past. And despite all of that, he keeps getting back up. Maybe that's the real superpower. Not strength, not speed, not web shooters. Resilience. Spider-Man has always reminded us that courage isn't the absence of fear, or guilt, or failure. It's choosing to keep moving forward despite all of them. That's what makes Peter Parker more than just another superhero. It makes him one of the most relatable fictional characters ever created. What do you think? Which live-action Spider-Man do you think best captures Peter Parker's psychology? Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, or Tom Holland? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this episode of The Character Couch, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and remember, sometimes the strongest people are the ones still carrying yesterday's mistakes while trying to make tomorrow a little bit better.